everyone. This is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Introduction to Macroeconomics at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the chapters 13 and 14 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for chapters 15 and 16 next week. Okay? So the first thing is, like I said, I did finish grading the chapters 13 and 14 activities this morning. Overall, most of you did well on those activities. Like I always tell you, I really appreciate those of you that are putting the time and effort in. So keep up the good work on that. Really appreciate it. The discussion that we had for chapters 13 and 14 that dealt with the production of the penny and the nickel, I thought that went very well. And I really appreciate everyone's participation on the discussion. I really enjoyed reading everyone's comments. So keep up the good work on the discussions as well. On the assignment, specifically, there were a couple of you that did not fully answer each part of each question. And I think a lot of it had to do with just waiting too late to get started on the assignment and just trying to get done what you could get done before the due date. But that's the main thing. I think there are a couple of you that need to kind of get started earlier on your assignments or activities for this class. Don't wait until the last day, especially the last part of the last day, to get started. Even though the next set of activities aren't due until next week, you should be working on those this week so that you give yourself plenty of time. All right. Also, there were a couple of students that didn't submit the assignment at all, and I'm not sure what's going on there. But just as a reminder, it's always a good idea to log into the course page in Ozarka at least once a day, just if nothing else to remind yourself of things that are coming up due. Because I know it's easy to forget some of those due dates when you have 4 or 5 classes or 6, but it's one of the things that you have to be able to do is kind of keep track of due dates and make sure that you get started early enough on the activities to give yourself plenty of time. So I think that's the biggest thing that a couple of you had with the problems that you had with the assignment and the other activities for chapters 13 and 14 was just simply either forgetting that they were due or waiting too late to get started. So just let me know if you have questions about that. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about that. Make sure that you read through the grading comments for chapters 13 and 14 activities. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions you have about them. All right. And so that brings us to what we've got coming up due next. So if we go to the activities page in Ozarka and we look at this week is week 13 of the semester. And you'll notice there's nothing due this week. And that's because we had work due late last week. Okay. And so there's nothing due this week, but there is work due early next week. In fact, a week from today, Tuesday, April 16th, is when the chapters 15 and 16 activities are due. So you've got the assignment, test, and discussion for chapters 15 and 16 all due by Tuesday, April 16th, which again is Tuesday of next week. Just to kind of look at what's going to be covered in these chapters, chapter 15 covers monetary policy, and we've talked about monetary policy in general terms already this semester, but in this chapter 15, you're going to learn about what all goes into monetary policy. So you're going to learn about the demand for and supply of money, how interest rates affect the demand for money, how the supply of money affects interest rates, how the Federal Reserve manipulates the money supply to affect interest rates and manage economic fluctuations. You'll also learn about foreign exchange, the quantity theory of money, and then finally, towards the end of the chapter, you will learn about the various strategies for monetary policy that the federal government uses. Okay, and then chapter 16 kind of builds on what you've learned from chapter 15, and you'll learn about some of the active and passive approaches that the federal government uses to manage the economy. You'll also learn about the types of lags that can occur when implementing a particular economic policy. You'll learn about the expectations or how expectations affect economic policy. You'll learn about something that's very important in macroeconomics called the Phillips curve. And then towards the end of the chapter, you will learn about a concept called the natural rate hypothesis. All right? So that's chapters 15 and 16. So again, be working on those activities. Again, even though they're not due this week, this will be a good time to go ahead and start working on those so that you don't run into a time crunch next week trying to get them all the activities completed. Okay? Remember all the resources that you have available to you. Make sure you're using all the available resources as you're working on those activities, including, of course, your textbook, the PowerPoint slides that I've linked on the assignment page, and also your videos that I've linked on the assignment page. So make sure you're using all those resources, and as you're working on those activities, just let me know if you have questions. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. And that's really all I have for you for today. So enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend, and I will talk to you again sometime later next week. Thank you.